Now, third-party credibility is very, very key because many people are not using it and many people are not doing it for their teams. Okay? It is not just the golds and above, the silvers and above that can be doing third-party credibility for team members. Okay? Anyone can be doing third-party credibility. If you're lucky enough to be a husband and wife, for example, doing this business, then the husband can be doing third-party credibility for the wife's prospects and vice versa, right? It doesn't even have to be someone above you. It can be someone in your team that you're working with closely, or even someone outside of your team that you're working with closely. The key, if you're asking for assistance and support, and the person you're asking for support from does not benefit from your success. In other words, maybe it's someone in another team, all right? That's fine, but just make sure you're adding value to that person and their business as well, all right? Have some sort of reciprocal value before you start asking for a lot of support and assistance from someone who does not benefit from your success. If someone benefits from your success, of course, they will be more than overjoyed to assist you in doing third-party calls. So let's talk about third-party credibility. It's very, very important. And we're going to talk about why it's important, when to use it, and how to do it. The how to do it is going to be critical because the challenge we sometimes have is that even those of you who are doing third-party credibility now for your teams, you're doing it based on your own experience. Some of you are extremely good at it. And believe me, people will sign up once they've talked to you. The problem with that approach is that you are using your own experience to do the third-party credibility. Nobody else will be you. So you can't teach it to your team, right? They can't do what you're doing. So if you want to be the person that 500 people are coming to for third-party credibility, keep doing what you're doing. But if you want to be the person that goes to bed at night and wakes up and there's 10 new people in your team, then you have to teach people a duplicatable system. And that's what we're going to do here for third-party credibility. We're going to teach you the basic roadmap, a basic script you can use, a basic approach that then you can add your own flavor and experience to help move people along in their decision making. All right, so why is it important to do third-party credibility? Well, it's very, very key. I always remember my stepfather, who, my family, by the way, is not, they're not really customers of mine, they're not associates of mine, they're not regular product users. I mean, that's sometimes the way, right? Your family is not really your biggest supporter in this business. They love me and they support me with their cheers, but not with product purchases or being an associate or building the business. And that's absolutely fine because there's many other people in the world that we can talk to. But I remember my stepfather, when he was living, I'd been talking to them, of course, till I'm blue in the face about Cellgevity. And at that time, I wasn't really using the tools. I was just talking and talking and talking. And they had always dismissed me 100% completely. And I remember at a point, Bill, my stepfather, and my mom came to Toronto to visit me, and I went out to the theater with them, and I brought a friend who happened to also be a Max associate. And at the intermission, my friend Bill said to my stepfather Bill, "Oh, have you not tried Max products? You are really missing out. My goodness, you should really be using them. They're wonderful. They'll be a great benefit to you." Well, wouldn't you know it, when he left the next day from my home in Toronto, he left with Max products and he continued on them for years. He never missed them. He packed them for every trip. But me, no. I could have talked till I was blue in the face. But when my friend mentioned it, that was it. So you need to have someone other than you talking to the people you're talking to. It will go a long way. It builds credibility. Now, you want to connect your prospect also to something bigger than you. Remember, they know you, right? They know you. You're their neighbor, you're their friend, you're their cousin, you're their work colleague. you want them to see a bigger picture. So when they're talking to someone other than you, they will get that bigger picture. It also helps to build relationships. So, you know, oftentimes when I'm doing third-party credibility for someone in my team, if they're now ready to get started and maybe they can't reach the person that introduced them, they will reach out to me because they now know me. And now between us, we can get that new person signed up. So now they feel they have relationships with more than just the person that introduced them, which is great. It's very cost-effective and time-effective, right? Because again, remember, if you were the one who had to do everything, it would take a lot of time, and it might cost you money in traveling and, you know, long distance and other things like that. Now, if you are able to be lucky enough to listen in on the third-party call, and here in North America you can certainly do that, then you have the luxury of being trained while you listen to your mentor or your upline team leader talk to your prospect. And that is a big, big benefit because you'll hear what they're saying, you'll hear what they're doing, and you will become a much more experienced and skilled person at doing third-party credibility. And the other thing that's very, very key is that it will validate you. So one thing that someone who's doing third-party credibility on your behalf must always, always do is edify you or compliment you. Wow, you're working with Sherry? Oh my goodness, you know what? She is one of our top associates. We love her so much. You're really lucky to be working with her. Okay, so it will really validate you and they'll feel like, wow, this is great. And then also it helps move the prospect to the next step, right? It helps move them along in the process, and also it's easy to duplicate, right? So that's also very, very important. So when are we going to use it? You're going to use it after that magic question, okay? You're always going to use it in the follow-up and closing, and I really recommend that you use it every single time. You will have no idea how much benefit you will get if you actually start implementing this on a regular basis. So after you've asked the magic question, what did you like best about what you've seen? It could be after they've seen the videos. It could be after they've seen a seminar. It could be after you've met with them and done a one-on-one presentation. But what did you like best about what you saw? Was it the product only or making money or both? If they say they're interested in both, now is the time you want to introduce them to somebody other than you. Now you can also add this question in, which is a good gauge of where exactly they might be after they've seen the first information or whatever information they've just seen. You can ask them, well, if you had to put yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, where 10 is, I'm really highly interested, and 1, I'm not interested at all, where would you put yourself right now? Right? So you can ask them that just to get a gauge of where they are. Whatever they say, you can say, okay, great. Well, I'm going to introduce you to someone who can share a bit more of their own experiences, and I think that will help you in this process as well. All right, so again, make it part of what you're doing. Don't make it a question. Would you like to speak to someone? 9 times out of 10, they may say no. So don't give them an option. You want to just say, well, then what we'll do as a next step is I'm going to introduce you to one of our team leaders, and they can share a bit more, and I think that will really help you in your decision-making process. Okay, so just make it a natural flow, and it will really help you a lot. Now, when you are doing third-party credibility, and you are asking for third-party credibility for your own prospect, here's where it's going to go. And then we'll look at when you are doing third-party credibility for one of your team members' prospects, okay? So when you are asking for third-party credibility, you have to prepare for it. Okay, the last thing you're going to do is send your mentor or upline team leader a list of numbers and say, here, call these people. Okay, that is absolutely not asking for third-party credibility. That's asking someone to do your work for you. And if they do your work for you, guess who should be getting that pay? Not you, right? Someone else. So you have to do the work, and part of the work is in preparation. So firstly, you want to determine what is it that you're trying to achieve with this third-party credibility. Right? Do you want them to try the product? Do you want them to come to a seminar? Or do you want them to sign up and register? What is it that you want to achieve? And once you've done that, now you can start to plan ahead. So first, of course, you need to know who you want them to speak to. Are you going to be introducing them at a presentation? Are you going to be doing a phone call or having a one-on-one discussion? How are you going to be introducing your prospect to the team leader or mentor? Then you need to brief your mentor on the prospect and what it is you hope to achieve, right? Tell them something about the person, a little bit about their background. Always tell them what you admire about them. Very, very important. Listen, Sherry is a great businesswoman. She's a very caring person. She does a lot for her community. So that now when your mentor is talking to the person, then they can say, wow, you know, Sherry, I've heard so much about you. I've heard you're a great businesswoman. You know, you're such a community-minded person. It's exactly the type of people we're looking for in Max, right? So it helps prepare the mentor for the conversation, and also make sure your mentor knows and you've agreed on the timing. Is it going to be a call booked at 9 o'clock at night? Is it going to be at the next presentation? Are you setting up a coffee meeting? What are you doing together? And then, of course, make sure you know how your technology works, okay? Don't try a third-party call if you're going to be connecting 3 of you on a conference call without knowing how your phone works to make that connection. In Nigeria, we often don't do a lot of third-party calls because of the cost of the calls and that sort of thing, but here you can certainly do them, and it will work very, very well, and it's much, much better for training. Now, how are you going to do the third-party call? So the first thing you're going to do is you need to introduce your leader or your mentor and edify them. Wow, I'm going to connect you to Chris Shingra. He is one of the top people in the team. I'm going to connect you to Daniel. He's an amazing guy, a sharp businessman. He's really growing a great team. You know, whoever that person is you're going to introduce them to, even if it's your husband, I'm going to introduce you to my business partner, Paul. He's a great mentor and coach. I think he'll really be able to share some great experiences with you. So edify the person, okay, and then introduce the prospect as well. So whether you're doing this up front or whether you're doing it on the call, it needs to be done. So if you're setting up a call ahead of time, fine. But if you're actually doing a 3-way call, you can actually do the introductions on the phone. All right, so let's say, so Sherry, why don't you come up here with me? Okay, so let's say that I was going to be doing a call and Sherry was the prospect, okay? And maybe Ian is the associate who referred Sherry, all right? And I'm the mentor or team leader. So if I was to call up Sherry, let's say I am the associate, okay? And Ian is the team leader and Sherry is the prospect, okay? So I would be calling Ian and Sherry would be on the other line. So I've already got Sherry on the line. I'm calling Ian. And Ian, you can come up here as well. Why not? We'll have all 3 of us. Fantastic. All right. So I'm calling Ian. Sherry is my friend who I'm wanting to introduce to the business. So I would call up Ian, and Sherry's on the line with me. So Sherry, hold on just a minute and let me patch Ian in. So ring, ring.
Hello.
Hello, Ian. It's Anne.
How are you, Anne?
Oh, I'm great. Do you still have time for our call?
Of course I do.
Oh, great, great. Listen, I've got Sherry on the line, and Sherry is an amazing business person. I've known her for quite a number of years. She's one of the kindest, most caring people I've ever met, and I'm really excited to introduce her to you. She's seen a little bit of information about Max. She's very interested in both the product and making money. And so, Sherry, I've got Ian on the line. Ian is an amazing leader in our business. He is just a great mentor and coach, and I'm really happy that he's spared a few minutes to talk to us today because I think that he's really going to be able to share some great experience with you.
Awesome.
Okay.
Hello.
So and then I would just turn it over to them. So Ian, I'll turn it over to you, and then they will start, okay? So I'm introducing Sherry and edifying her. I'm introducing Ian, edifying him, and then I am shutting up, okay, and letting them take over from there. And then they will do a little relating back and forth, and then Ian will do what we're going to teach you to do. Okay, so simple enough, right? Okay, good. Thank you, both of you.
Thank you.
You can have a seat for now. Once we've had that conversation, so remember, I'm here listening as the associate, right? And I'm hearing Ian talk to Sherry and bringing her along in the process. There's going to be a next step, always. So at the end of that conversation, we need to agree on the next step, right? And then, of course, I need to thank Ian for his time, let him get off the phone, and then conclude with Sherry on our next steps, okay? So very simple. Now, if you are doing third-party credibility for one of your team members' prospects, and this is the thing that I really want you to get, because probably not too many of you are doing this today. Now, those of you who are introducing your prospects to a team leader or mentor, good for you. Just do more of it. It's not hard to do. As long as you brief your mentor, it's perfect. And remember to edify and compliment. It'll be great. But this part is a little bit more technical, still very simple to do. It's on one of your handouts here that you've been given. So how this is going to work, just like we did it just now, we're going to compliment the prospect and compliment the associate. We're going to confirm they've seen the information. So let's say I was now in Ian's role. I'm the team leader, okay? So actually, Sherry, come on back up because you're the prospect. We'll come back up. So I've complimented her, right? And I said, wow, you know what? Ian has told me great things about you. I understand you're quite a businesswoman, so I'm so happy to be talking to you today.
Thank you.
Yes, and Ian, oh, he's amazing.
He is.
Yeah,
He's great.
He's a great.
We've been friends for a long time.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, we really appreciate him a lot in Max. So I'm happy that he's been talking to you. Now, I understand he shared some information with you. Is that correct?
He did, yes.
Oh, good. And you've had a chance to review it?
I have. It's very interesting.
Oh, very good. Now, I know you're a businesswoman. Let me ask you something. What did you find the most interesting? Was it the product only or making money or both?
Oh, definitely both.
Oh, well, I knew because she's a businesswoman, right? Of course. That's what he told me. That's great. So can I share a little bit with you about how the business works?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. So now we've done this bit, right? Fairly straightforward. Now we're going to get into the simple business summary. And what I have found is that people will join just with this summary alone. All right, they don't even need to attend a meeting or see anything more. So if you can master this simple business summary, I think this will really help you in growing your business. So I'm going to get everything up here, so it's all on the screen, and you have also this in your handout. Okay, so we'll get it all up here on the screen. All right, so again, once you have it in you, it can just flow. All right, so I'm going to just flow with it as I'm talking to Sherry. But if it's not in you yet, there's absolutely nothing wrong with having the handout in front of you if you're on the phone and actually reading it. Okay, just putting some animation into your voice. It will work very, very well until you have it in you and it will flow. Okay, so if I'm talking to Sherry, I would say, so Sherry, let me explain the simple way our business works, all right? You register with some products. You can start with 2 products, or you can start with a larger product package if you need more products. Now, your goal is to find people who are just like you, who are interested in the products and also making money, all right? Every month, the cost of doing business is we buy 2 products every month, all right? That's what keeps our business open. Now, ideally, that should be around the 1st of the month. All right, so your first target, right now we're about the middle of July, all right? It could even be done this month, but your first target is to find 5 people who are interested in both the product and making money. Now, if those people also join with their 2 products or a larger package if they wish, you will have made about up to $75 commission, okay, without selling any products, and that's the start of your business. But remember, your target is to find 5 people. Everybody's goal is to find 5 people who would be interested in the products and also making money. Now, if you want to, you can bring 5, 10, 20, as many as you like over time, absolutely. But your first target is 5. So once 3 of your people have their own 5, all right, and their goal should be to do that in their first month of business, if possible. Once 3 of your people have their own 5, everybody's buying their 2 products every month, now you're making up to about $375 every month. That's US dollars, okay, every month. So and it grows from there. It starts growing from there. We work together as a team. Does it seem like something you can do?
That sounds very doable.
Good, excellent.
Now,
Good, so you see it as something you can do.
Definitely, yeah.
Awesome, good. Now, how soon do you think you can make your product payment? When can you do your first order?
I can look after that later this week.
Okay, fantastic. Now, so very simple. You see, I didn't follow the script word for word because it's just in me and it can flow. And remember, I'm still getting used to the US side of things again, so it's a little bit different here, but still very, very similar. And this third-party credibility talk is something that I do 10 times in a day, and it just flows out of me every minute. It's very, very straightforward. Once it's in you, it's very easy. Okay, thank you very much, Sherry. You can have a seat. Thank you. Sherry may have said if I asked her how soon she can make your payment. So that's me, or the person doing third-party credibility, wanting to make sure we have a concrete next step, okay? We want to actually close and move forward. So you might even, because in North America it's easier, you might even sign them up right there and then, okay? You don't even have to wait until next week. You can say, great, are you ready to get started right now? And take their details and put the order in right then and there, okay? So you could certainly do that. Now, if she had said to me that, oh, well, I'll start next month or I'll let Ian know, then you want to kind of understand why that might be. Maybe they're concerned about money, okay? Maybe they don't have room on their credit card, or they want to keep their bills down and they don't feel comfortable spending that money right now. So you can ask them a point-blank question. Is it the money that would stop you from starting today, or is it something else, right? The worst thing you want to happen is just not knowing why they're hesitating. You really want to understand so that you can help them overcome whatever it is. Now again, if you choose to, at some point you can ask them the 1 to 10 question again. Right? On a scale of 1 to 10, now that you've understood a little bit more about the business, where would you say your interest level is now? Where 10 being the highest and 1 being not at all interested, so that you can uncover any possible objections they may have. Now, if it's only the money, you can teach them how to find those customers, right? Just like we talked about in Getting Started Right. Teach them how to find customers who might help them pay for their registration by creating that list of at least 10 people who have a health challenge in their family, right? Going to see them or calling them, letting them know you found a product that you think can help them, send them the videos and information, and then see if they're interested in purchasing. And that can help the person who doesn't have the funds to start to get their startup package. Now, if they have other objections, well, I don't know if it would be so easy to get people, or I don't know if I would have time. Those are things you may hear. And if you teach them the Getting Started Right process, which is make your list of at least 200 people, make very, very short phone calls, teach them the script of exactly what to say. I've started working with a US company. They have a product that everybody needs and people are making money with this company. I'm sure you would know someone who would need the product or who would want to make money. Let me send you 2 short videos and then we'll talk. All right, when you teach them that and the follow-up question, the magic question, are you interested in the product or making money or both? And you show them how they can do this business in 5-minute phone calls, talking to just 2 to 5 people a day, even 2 people a day if they're really pressed for time, or they don't have to convince people and sell, right, by sharing that simple script, then that will often overcome their objections of, I don't know if I can get people, or I don't think I have time. And those are usually the objections that you have the most, all right? And then what I usually like to do is once I'm off the phone, now if you're doing a 3-way call, then it should be the associate who has set up the call that would send this material. but definitely send them the Getting Started Right material, the script and the videos, the disease sheet, and the website, so that they can easily start to even talk to people now or start to examine what you've told them. So send them those materials immediately you're off the call, so that they can now see, oh, this is actually a really simple business. I can do this business, right? And remember, you're looking for those people who also want to make money. Because if somebody just wants to use the product, it's perfect. Let them use the product. Don't try and push them into the business if they're not interested in making money, right? Max is not for everyone. We're looking for those people where it would be a good fit, right? And for others, maybe it's just the product. Wonderful, perfect. That's no problem at all. And then if you have not been on the call yourself as the associate and you've been doing the call for someone, then make sure you let your associate know how the call went and what the next steps are, okay, so that they can continue with the follow-up process. Now, if someone wants more detail, let's say the simple business summary, they're not ready to sign up. Well, I'd really like to understand the business in a little bit more detail. Now you can either, again, invite them to a live event, like the seminars that happen regularly. You can invite them to a webinar, or you can send them the recorded video, or even meet them one-on-one, all right, to do a one-on-one presentation on how the business works. So you have options if they're not ready to sign up immediately and if they'd like more information. So just to summarize, your role as the associate, okay, your role is to edify or complement your leader and also your prospect, okay? And you also want to stay quiet during the conversation. Your mentor or leader is trying to build a rapport and trying to get a flow going to help move your prospect forward. So don't be interrupting with a lot of commentary, okay? Just try and keep quiet until it's clear that your leader is finished and they want you to now come back into the conversation. And then make sure you have clear next steps as a follow-up. And your mentor or leader's role, their job is to edify you, right? They need to compliment you. And they also are bringing credibility, and they're building a relationship as well with your prospect. And their goal is to try and move them to that desired outcome that you had set up at the beginning of the call. Okay, does that seem simple enough? Do we think we can do a little bit more third-party credibility than we're doing? You can practice it, right? You know what I say to people? You know, these are two simple sheets of paper, right? Two. Now, we have a third simple sheet of paper that we will use called the coaching conversation. But these two simple sheets of paper, Getting Started Right and Third-Party Credibility, they are one sheet of paper. Now, many of you went to university, right? You went to post-secondary school of some sort. You spent 3-4 years or more learning something, right? And that something has brought you to whatever you're doing today for your income, right? You're working for someone, you have your own business, whatever you're doing today. But how long would it take you to learn 2 sheets of paper? Would it take you 4 years? No? Okay. Now, if you could be making $500,000 in a year, it's probably more than most people are making in their salaries, I would hazard a guess. Am I right? Yes? So is it worth it to learn 2 sheets of paper? It's worth it, isn't it? When you think you went to school for 3 or 4 or 5 years to earn whatever you're earning now, and to think you could double or triple that income, or even make your annual salary, your monthly salary, if you would just learn these simple things and practice them and teach them and actually do them. So I really encourage you, give it a try and teach your team, and you will find it goes a really, really long way.